the time we need. Years and years, we're taking all the time we need. Years and years, we're taking all the time we need. Years and years, we're taking all the time we need.
Members of the Platform Party, faculty, graduates, families, and friends, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to this long overdue commencement ceremony. And may it not rain on our parade. Indeed, it is my pleasure to welcome you back to Vanderbilt. A lot has transpired in the 14 months since we were last together. A global pandemic, an economic disruption, an historic election, but also police killings of Black Americans, hate crimes against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, antitrust legislation here in Tennessee and several other states. Before we can celebrate, we must also acknowledge all that we grieve. For many of you, this may include loved ones who lost their lives to COVID-19 or suffered negative health effects or job loss. I want you to know that even though we have not been together, the hearts of your faculty and college administrators have been with you throughout this trying time. We are glad that we can finally be together today to mark the storms we've passed through and to rejoice in all that you have accomplished. Finally, I want to acknowledge the many members of your class who were not able to come back for today's ceremony. Although we cannot name them all individually, we know that many are watching and are here today in spirit. We celebrate their accomplishments as well. Let me begin by introducing the members of the Platform Party, who may now sit down. Please. To my right are Sharon Shields, Senior Associate Dean for Student Empowerment, Engagement, and Development. Candace Lee, Vice Chancellor for Athletics and University Affairs and Athletics Director. And Professor Andrea Capizzi, 2017 to 2020 Chair of the Peabody Faculty Council. To my left are Catherine Loss, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs and Professional Education, and Professor Andy Finch, who will announce the graduates. And now to our graduates. You are the reason we are here today. Only you know the total cost of the years leading to this moment. Even so, your faculty, family, and friends know that each of you dedicated endless time and effort. Many of you pursued your degree while maintaining a career, raising children, or caring for others. You persevered and you made it. You're a multitasker who can put on a poncho as you listen to a commencement talk. And along the way, you learned a series of your discipline, and you applied them to practicums and capstone projects. You conducted research and presented findings. In your time as students and in the years since, many of you have already done meaningful work. All of you have the potential to change lives and make a better world. Your families, friends, and colleagues have shared your dream and accompanied you on this journey. We honor their hard work and sacrifice too. Please join me in expressing our appreciation of your family and friends. Today, we are honoring graduates who earned the Master of Education, Master of Public Policy, and Doctor of Education degrees. We are also honoring graduates of Next Steps at Vanderbilt University, Tennessee's first inclusive, transformational post-secondary program for students with intellectual disability. We are so proud to have you here. Each of your degrees symbolizes the achievement of mastery. And because they are degrees earned at Peabody, they also indicate your commitment to put your knowledge and abilities to work in the service of others. Among Peabody's core values, altruism ranks highly. The college has long sought to foster human flourishing for all people, the disadvantaged as well as the privileged. Our mission is to enhance the human condition. We concern ourselves with children, families, organizations, and communities. We prepare scholars and professionals who will add to our store of knowledge, strengthen public and private life, and lead or reform institutions. Of course, Peabody faculty and students have a special focus on children's learning and development. We are committed to educating future generations, including children and young adults with special needs, children who are at risk, and learners in parts of the world that are still working to establish effective systems of education. As a college, we strive to be more equitable and inclusive within our own community, even as we work to prepare our graduates for a diverse society. Today, you, all of you, join almost 30,000 living Peabody alumni who are part of this amazing tradition. Commencement isn't an appropriate time to recognize alumni who embody the values and practices we hope our graduates will emulate. The Distinguished Alumna or Alumnus Award recognizes significant career and community achievements, as well as a reputation of excellent character and a respected and ethical work record. This year's recipient is Candace Lee. A native of Madison, Alabama, Candace has been part of our Peabody family since her undergraduate days and holds 3 degrees from the college. As a captain and 4-year letter winner for Vanderbilt's women's basketball team, she graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in Human and Organizational Development in 2000. She also received her master's degree in Human Development Counseling in 2002, and in 2012, she earned her doctorate in Higher Education Leadership and Policy. For almost 20 years, Candace has been an integral leader at the university and in the athletics department. Last year, she made history when she was named Vanderbilt's Vice Chancellor for Athletics and University Affairs and Athletic Director, the first female to fill those roles. She also is the first African American woman to head a Southeastern Conference athletics program. Candace was previously Deputy Director of the program, a role she was appointed to in 2016. and she has been the department's senior women administrator since 2004. In 2019, Sports Business Journal named Candace to its Power Players College Sports list, which recognizes individuals who have distinguished themselves as some of the best thinkers, problem solvers, and deal makers in college sports, and who will play a distinctly important role in its future. In August, Candace joined the newly created SEC Council on Racial Equity and Social Justice, which will work to foster diversity, help overcome racism, and pursue non-discrimination in intercollegiate athletics. In September 2019, Candace was named a 2019-2020 Fellow of the Tennessee Independent Colleges and Universities Association's Presnell Executive Leadership Institute. She is a member of the 2012 class of Leadership Nashville, the 2012 Vanderbilt Leadership Academy, and the YWCA of Middle Tennessee Board of Directors. Peabody is proud of Candace Lee's contributions to athletic excellence and social equity. We are pleased to confer on her the Peabody College Distinguished Alumni Award. I'm going to put the award here to keep it dry.
Is that good enough?
Thank you for bearing with me. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for that very kind introduction, Dean Bimbo. Let me start by saying how nice it was of you to move this graduation ceremony to the football stadium so the athletic director on crutches wouldn't have to travel too far. But to be honest, it would have taken a lot more. I'm sorry, I forgot I could take this mask off. To be honest, it would have taken a lot more than a knee surgery to keep me away from this very special occasion. I am grateful to be a small part of it with you today. I'm truly humbled to be recognized as a recipient of the Peabody Distinguished Alumni Award. I was surprised when I first heard the news and even thought it might have been a mistake. I looked at the list of past recipients and their impressive accomplishments, and I thought to myself, I'm not sure you belong on that list. But then I remembered what Peabody does. It takes ordinary people like each of us and encourages us to have an extraordinary impact. It meets us where we are and then challenges us to be the very best version of ourselves. It takes our trials and tribulations and reminds us that we are more than the boxes that we place ourselves in or allow others to place us in. Peabody teaches us that we can make our own distinct mark and impact in the world. I feel a strong connection to the college and owe such a debt of gratitude to my professors, staff, and peers who invested their time and wisdom in me and set me on a path to pursue my career in higher education through athletics. To know that someone views that path as a distinguished one is humbling, and for that, I say thank you. But today is actually about you, the graduating class of 2020. I know it has been an interesting journey, but think of all the stories you will tell for the rest of your lives. I know it's not easy to earn a degree from Peabody under any circumstances, but to do it in 2020, to get so close to the finish line, only to have the whole world turn upside down, I admire each and every one of you for your perseverance, your grace under pressure, your ability to adjust on the fly, and to succeed in the midst of so much uncertainty. And it is not lost on me that these bleachers today are not quite as full as they might have been. Many of us have lost friends and family members to COVID-19. I know there were people rooting for you who would have been so proud to be here today to celebrate your achievements. So let us remember them. But even as we mourn those we have lost, let us be grateful for this moment. Whether you are participating virtually or here in person, I am glad you and your family and friends could experience this moment that you so richly deserve. If there's one thing we've learned over the last year, it is not to take 1 minute of this life for granted. Now, I don't stand, or rather, I don't sit before you pretending to have all of the answers. But I would be remiss if I didn't at least share a few things that I have learned along the way. And I, too, am still a work in progress. You know that I'm a former basketball player, and I've been involved in athletics one way or another most of my life. So I'll ask you to indulge me for just a moment while I briefly share some insights that may be helpful as you chart your own path and continue to distinguish yourselves. So number one, and there's only 5, so don't worry. Number 1, play your position. That is, embrace your role and be the very best that you can be in it. Be honest with yourself about where you can uniquely contribute, even if it feels like a stretch. I assure you that self-awareness can make all the difference in the world. It's okay to be competitive, to be driven, to be highly motivated, but stay in your lane so someone else can have theirs. There are actually enough lanes to go around. Now, I will admit that that can be a hard thing to comprehend, especially if you're part of an underrepresented or historically marginalized group like I am, and the world continuously reminds you that the odds are stacked against you. But don't let that stop you. Just play your position and excel in it. Number 2, prepare as best you can, and then just trust yourself. So in athletics, you know, we spend a lot of time on scouting reports and game plans, and those are important. Preparation can be a helpful mitigation tool, but you must know that you cannot account for everything. At some point, your opponent will do something unexpected. And when that happens, just trust yourself. Trust your foundation. Peabody has not given you every answer, but it has helped you find the answers. And you already know how to adjust. This is not a new lesson to you all, especially after thriving through this pandemic. Number 3, be confident, but be coachable. You must believe in yourself, but there's nothing wrong with listening to your coach. It doesn't matter how talented you are, you can still learn from other people. I think the goal is to strike the right balance between having a point of view, having conviction, but also being coachable. There is strength in humility. My family, athletics, and Peabody taught me that early and often, and that's a lesson that I will never forget. Number 4, When you get beat, move on to the next play. Listen, sometimes you just get beat. There have been and there will be moments when you did everything you were supposed to, and it still does not work out in your favor. Or maybe you took a chance and you lost. Adversity will come, sometimes unfairly so. That's when you'll have to dig deep and remember that you have overcome before. There's much to gain from failing, and as you acquire more experience, you will learn that failing simply helps prepare you for a fresh opportunity. Sometimes it's not obvious. At times it's incredibly painful. And sometimes it takes a while to connect the dots. But the truth is, you are built to overcome, and you are ready to move on to the next play. And finally, be a good teammate. Regardless of what this next chapter holds for you, you cannot thrive alone. Peabody allowed each of us to be a part of and benefit from a great team. And now it's time for you to pay it forward. Everyone's team looks different. Just be sure you recognize who your particular teammates are, acknowledge them, and support them. I used to believe in the golden rule, and I think you all know what that is. That's to treat people the way you want to be treated. But then I learned from my colleague, Franklin Ellis, about the platinum rule. He said to treat people the way they want to be treated. So do that, and be a good teammate. In closing, as a very proud triple door of Peabody College, I thank you for recognizing me with the Distinguished Alumni Award. I also offer a sincere congratulations to all the graduates today. I'm looking forward to watching the great and wonderful things you will do in the world, and I'm proud to call you fellow Peabody alumni. Anchor down.
Thank you, Candace. For somebody who's interested in talent development, as I am, I really enjoyed your talk. And many of the principles you talked about are just the ones I talk about. We're both into talent development. So thank you. I really enjoyed that. But now we've come to the part of the ceremony which we have all eagerly assembled and sat through the rain. To begin, we have a special message from Provost and Vice Chancellor Susan R. Wente, who served as Vanderbilt's interim chancellor during the 2019 to 2020 academic year. She officially conferred your degree last May, and today she will share the charge to graduates and reread the conferral of degrees.
Today, we celebrate the achievements of Vanderbilt's class of 2020 graduates, each of whom have shown profound commitment to their field of study and its potential to benefit society. Due to the nature of historic circumstances that coincided with their graduation year, these graduates have also accomplished something that uniquely and permanently distinguishes their character. Graduates, You have opened your minds to new ways of thinking. You have challenged assumptions and made personal sacrifices in order to do what is right. And you have entered your next career step at a time when the world needs exactly that willingness and all the deep intelligence and undeniable bravery that comes with it like never before. Together and as individuals, you weathered a generation-defining moment. Your profound resilience has led you here today, and it's my greatest honor to celebrate this milestone with you. Thanks to your compassion, fortitude, and grit, we've arrived at the greatly anticipated moment, the ceremonial conferral of academic degrees. The charges that I will read to our graduates were penned by the late Alexander Hurd, Vanderbilt's 5th chancellor. These charges are part of Vanderbilt's legacy. They've been passed down through generations and have been imparted to every graduate of this university since Chancellor Hurd's tenure. Graduates, in receiving these charges, you are joined to a lineage that precedes you, that will endure after you, and which flourishes because of you. Dean Camilla Benbow will present candidates for the degrees of Peabody College. I salute you on your academic achievements and distinctions and commend the use of your training, your art, and your skill for the continued creation and sustenance of an enlightened and literate society. Congratulations to you and to all of our Peabody College graduates. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trust of Vanderbilt University and by the vote of the faculties, I confer upon each of you the degrees for which you have qualified and extend to you the best wishes of your alma mater, now and for all the days of your lives.
Thank you, Provost Wente. I do have the honor of presenting these students who have earned the degrees of Master of Education, Master of Public Policy, and Doctor of Education. They have fulfilled the requirements established by Peabody College and, on the recommendation by the faculty, have been conferred that academic degree. Professor Finch will now read the names of the degree recipients. We will begin by recognizing our 2020 Next Steps graduates, who represents the first cohort of students to complete the program's 4-year curriculum. Peabody College we are proud of you. And Peabody College is deeply proud to be the home to the Next Steps program, and I congratulate these graduates on a remarkable achievement. We wish you every success. Professor Finch, let's get going.
Next Step graduates, please approach the platform. The following persons have earned their certificate of completion in the Next Steps program. Daniel R. Bronner. Pisanak Peach Chinra Tanalab. Charles Fetterman. Robert B. Funk. Jackson H. Pipcorn. Christopher R. Webster. Alexander L. Zarabi. Recipients of the Master of Education and the Master of Public Policy, please approach the platform. The following persons have earned the Master of Education degree. Sarika Agarwal. Elizabeth Ambrose. Haley J. Austin. Harrison Logan Baker. Thomas Percy Baldwin. Sachin Bangalore. Amanda Bonnick. Sarah Keeling Beck. Eliza Blades. Haley Elizabeth Blankenship. Andrew Lee Brodsky. Sarah Alyssa Bronchetti. Anna Catherine Browning. Jessica Kamanzuli. Katie Ann Klaus. Camille Olivia Cowart. Erin Patricia Curtin. Mary Catherine Davidson. Laura Davis. Jacqueline Nicole Day. Rien Rinaldi Gita. Margaret Drummond. Emma Duncliffe. Anne Duplashan. Sagan Taylor Eatwell. Marissa Margaret Edmonds. Mary Kathleen Erb. Sarah Hope Irvin. John Merrick Iyer. Abby Brennan Fitzgerald. Claire Christina Brown Forbes. Don Huan Fu. Mary Ann Gill. Ryan Giorgione. Jacob Thomas Getty. Caroline Marie Gerke. Andrew Neil Golden. Kelly Ann Graff. Anna Greist. John Howard Griffin III. Emily Rose Groff. Jessica Lauren Grossman. Andrea Faith Hall. Cassandra Gloria Hall. Samuel Levi Harkey. Desiree Harrell. Ellen Harrison. Megan Harvey. Catherine Elizabeth Healy. Ashley Hill. Anne Michelle Hornung. Jia Yahweh Huang. Stephanie Alice Huddleston. Shelby Jacobson. Courtney Elizabeth James. Ariana Christine Jasko. Paul Jenkins. Miley Towns Jones. Ruth Juno. Kristen Kaler. Kara Marie Konevsky. Jocelyn Rebecca Kirk. Mallory Lamers. Brittany Lindsay. Emily Alina Litzo. Noel Lopez. Aaron McInerney. Elizabeth Mack. Callie Mankowski. Hannah Mark. Lauren Eileen McCabe. Heidi Monica McCarthy. Rebecca Hinman McKnight. Megan Eberhardt McMaster. John Key Marai. Caitlin Greer Moore. Santiago Peralta. Hannah Piersack. Joseph Andrew Qualls. Megan Rector. Stephen Isaac Robinson. Taylor Shaw. Priscilla Shin. Todd Simmons. Carly Christine Stafford. Marissa Stewart. Kyle Strong. Karen Elizabeth Sun. Linda Swift. Jennifer Tang. Emma Grace Tom. Adrian Thompson. Latoya Ann Tingle. Tana Tyler. Rachel Ann Tyrrell. Brianna Antonella Valdivia. Samantha Wary. Lydia Nell Wilkins Reed. Kelly Willard. Michelle Rachel Weiner. Nicole Wolf. Regina Yorgaitis. Ashley Johanna Bednarik. May Christensen. Stephanie DeCruz Carroll. Erica Evers. Megan Grenda. Janet Mandeville. Krista Nardi. Sarah Tossi. Elizabeth Powell. Abigail Siegel Hyman. Abby Smith. Emily Benjamea. Hunter Branch. Kalisha Lynn Cox. Lori June Ignacio Fernandez. Maria Montana Strike. Patricia Drake. Lindsay Floyd. Taylor Dominique Kellogg. Rebecca Elizabeth Lawson. Crystal Anye Kulajay. Johanna Claire Pittock. Catherine Lene Solomon. Adrian Lee Taylor. Kiera Monique Thorpe. Jade Wilkeson. Camille Iman Woods. The following persons have earned the Master of Public Policy degree. Jacqueline Abulafia. Hannah Misik. Don Elwood Cheatham, Jr. Marjorie Faith Christian. Emma Holsketter. Patrick Newton. Alexis Parker. Ashton Toon. Robin Lynn Ye. Kristen Kuiper Berneman. Melvisha Jenkins Dotson. Hannah Carlisle.
The investiture or hooding ceremony began in medieval times. The length of the hood has traditionally indicated the level of academic achievement. Graduates being honored would come before the head of the university, bow their heads, and the faculty would put the hood over the graduate's head. In this manner, the graduates showed respect to their fellow students and faculty, without whom it would have been impossible to attain their level of learning. We continue the tradition of hooding now with our doctoral degree recipients. Dean Catherine Loss will lead you in the ceremony.
I will ask the degree recipients for the Doctor of Education to please stand. I will now lead you in the self-hooding ceremony. The doctoral hood is an important part of academic dress and regalia. The velvet edge of the hood represents the degree or discipline, light blue for education. The satin field and chevron that line the doctoral hood represent your school colors, black and gold for Vanderbilt University. I ask that you please grasp your hood by the middle fold and unfold it. Gently shake the hood to extend its length. Please make sure that the velvet edging is facing the front. The front can also be identified because it has a short string loop. Academic hoods drape down the back, so please grasp the short front in one hand and the long tail in the other. Please lift the hood over your head and gently settle it around your shoulders and neck.
With the placement of these hoods, we, your deans, department chairs, program directors, and faculty of Peabody College of Education and Human Development confirm that you have completed the academic learning for your doctoral degrees. From here on forth, we are proud to call you colleagues. Congratulations.
Recipients of the Doctor of Education degree, please approach the platform. The following persons have earned the Doctor of Education degree: Madeline K. Chimka, Megan Grace, Rebecca Darty Kay. Mary Lynn Cook. Daniel Soud. Lisa Vardy. Tommy Wells. Richard Hua Lee. As you know, many of the graduates we would like to honor today were unable to return to campus for this in-person ceremony. No doubt, some are watching via live stream, and we wish to acknowledge their names in this brief video.
Congratulations. Today, you have joined a select group, the alumni of Vanderbilt University and Peabody College. On behalf of the faculty, I commend you. As we near the end of this ceremony, a few notes about exiting the stadium. All guests seated in the stands should exit using either gates 2 or 3. Please continue to observe physical distancing as you exit. On the field, we ask that graduates wait until the platform party has left this platform. You may then exit through the tunnel. After leaving, I invite the graduates to pick up a box of strawberries and chocolate in the celebration of this day. You can pick up the box in the tent on Jess Neely Drive. We ask that only graduates enter the strawberries and chocolate tents to pick up their commemorative box. I hope you can enjoy this gift as you celebrate today. For those graduates watching virtually, you will receive a commemorative gift in the mail in the weeks to come. The true measure of a great university is what its alumni do in the wider world. As you take this next step toward your bright, exciting future, go forth with all your heart. Use your education to lift our world and to benefit humankind. Graduates, I am entrusted by the university with the privilege of sending you forth to invest your gifts and talents for the betterment of our society, to lift up humanity, and to bring honor to Vanderbilt. Our ceremony is now concluded.